Hey, 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 good morning. Okay, I had to do my mic check, make sure I can hear myself. You already know how I get down. Okay. Hey, Teresa, good morning. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my treadmill going and then we'll get into it. Let me get my watch going. That way I get these steps. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna start at 2.5 miles per hour. Y'all know that is my warm-up speed. Y'all, I came dressed down today. I'm sorry. There's no cute outfit today. I am feeling very inflamed. And I have a lot of tightness in my hip today. So I really didn't want to wear any tight leggings. So yeah, I needed something with some space. So I'm just pushing myself to work out today. Okay. Because yeah, I am not feeling it. My body's not feeling it this morning, but it's the dedication and sticking to my goal that is pushing me. Let me set my goal for today. The goal for today, minimum, let's see. I think I'm gonna say minimum of 3 miles today. Goal. That's what we're gonna do. Let me pin that to the top. I've had better days. I'll just say that. Today feels more like a Monday than a Tuesday. Um, Body just inflamed this morning. My mood isn't has high energy, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about setting boundaries. I got a couple of great things we're gonna talk about today. I know AK. Why don't we talk about some things? Mark, you're so funny. You are funny. Uh, so I know AK should be joining us today because AK wanted me to talk about stretch marks and oil. And I'm gonna let AK explain more of what that actually means before I answer it to make sure we're on the same page. We're gonna talk about some boundaries. I got some health and fitness tips, and then we're gonna talk a little WNBA and whatever else you all want to talk about. Today, my goal is just to get through this 3-4 miles. The minimum is 3 miles. You know, these guys had a minimum that way I can push myself. I'm gonna start off walking for 5 minutes at 2.5 miles per hour, and then we're gonna ramp up the speed. But we'll get a little personal today. I got some good information I want to give y'all because I think that's why I'm so irritated today. We're gonna talk about some boundaries. We're gonna talk about like romantic, family, friends, and work, and the different boundaries you have to set for that. Because otherwise, I'm telling you, that's probably why my cortisol levels are up today. Yeah, I know I deal with stage 4 endometriosis, which is an autoimmune disease, and it also causes full body inflammation. And so, anytime my cortisol levels go up, man, my whole body starts acting up, which is why I got these sweatpants on today. Y'all had to come comfortable. It was no joke today. I looked in my closet and I was trying to find something cute for y'all, and I was like, not today. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna work. So this is what y'all get today, okay? I'm sorry. I know it's not the best, but um, but today is a great. Oh, I am gonna talk about my goals today. My goals for July. Happy July 1st, you all. We made it to another month. Um, Today's weather is a very good day to get out and about. I think I'm going to actually sit on my balcony today and read after I knock some workout today because I just think it's one of those days where I just got to calm myself down, get my energy level back to where I know it needs to be because, yes, definitely annoyed. Um, so, yeah, I got a couple of great things we're going to talk about today. I'm trying to kind of wait till I get to increase my speed. That way I don't get distracted, because the minute I start talking about things, I always get distracted. And then I'll be at 2.5 miles per hour the whole time and wonder why it's taking me so long to get to 3 miles today. So let me check, see where I'm at with my time, and we'll go from there. Okay, 2.5 miles per hour. I'm almost at 5 minutes, y'all, so I'm going to increase it, and then we're going to talk about some things. How are you doing today, Teresa? You're at work right now, right? So I know you're probably busy. Okay. So I'm increasing my speed to 3.3. And then my goal is to keep increasing it. This walking pad only goes to 3.8, so there's only so much I can do. That's another thing I'm talking about. That's what I plan on doing for July, and that's this walking pad. So I think I'm gonna start with my health and fitness tips first. That way I can see if AK joins us today. That way I can hit this whole stretch mark topic. So I'm gonna start with some health and fitness tips, and then we'll kind of go from there. But so the first health and fitness tip I wanted to tell y'all is just making sure you're mixing up your workouts. A lot of people go to the gym, they get very stagnant about doing the same thing. Like they'll go in and all they want to do is weight train, weight train, weight train. Some people just go in there and want to do straight cardio. But you got to mix up your workouts. So, you got strength training, cardio, mobility, and then you got rest days. Remember, your rest days is actually where your body builds itself. So I always tell people it's like renovations. When you go to the gym, it's like knocking everything down. So you're tearing the muscles down. And then when you rest, that's when it's getting built up. It's going to become something beautiful. So for those of you who get bored very easily, you definitely want to make sure you're mixing up your workouts. And that's what's going to keep it fun and prevent you from plateauing. Okay? So mix up your workouts. That's why Mondays, arm day, Tuesday, cardio, leg day. I try to do full body. And then we're going to get to my goals for July, because that's why I'm trying to spice it up, keep it fun, and keep myself from plateauing. I almost feel like I have so many things I want to do that I kind of had to figure out what makes sense. I mean, we got the whole year. I don't have to put it all in July. We can kind of mix it up for August. Save some for the rest of the year. Also, be consistent, not perfect. I tell people all the time that when we fall off our fitness journey or our nutrition journey, should I say, that is the hardest part normally, is the food we eat. A lot of times we fall off with what we're supposed to be doing, because we're like, dang, we disappointed in ourselves. So then we fall off. So remember, small, consistent actions over time result in big changes. So even if you were to go outside and go for a walk for like 10 minutes a day, just look at that 10 minutes as being 10 more minutes than what you were doing prior, right? So if you went from not working out to now you're doing 10 minutes, just think over time for the week, if you just worked out for 5-6 days, that's an hour more that you were doing before. So even though you're like, that's not that much, it's more than what you were doing before. Okay? So give yourself grace, be patient. Before you know it, you'll be working out 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day, then an hour. So it will get there. So mix up workouts, and then also be consistent, not perfect. So we're actually not doing bad. I'm already almost at half a mile walking. I think today is looking more like a 3-mile day. I just feel like my body is very tired. The endometriosis, it's kind of affecting my lungs. So I feel like today is a harder day for me to breathe a little bit. So work with me, y'all. Be patient. The third health and fitness tip, because I'm trying to knock out the health and fitness stuff now. That way, when I start talking about other things, I can at least say, hey, we talked about health and fitness today. So the third health and fitness tip for today, I'm going to say get outside daily. So I know for some people, y'all feel like that should be a simple task. There's honestly a lot of people who work indoors, like work from home, or their job is just very, stationary. So they sit behind a desk all day, and the only time they probably leave is to go to lunch or something like that. But if you're able to, when you do go out for lunch, let's say, sit on the balcony, just sit outside, just do something to where you can get fresh air and some of that sunlight, and you get that natural vitamin D. Like I have to take vitamin D supplements, and I get outside, so that just lets you know that your body needs it a lot more. It also can increase your mood and your energy. So even like with working out, if you're able to get outside for like 10 to 15 minutes, that will make a world of difference. So that's going to be our number of how we're going to start things. Most people say like 30 minutes a day. Let's just start with 10, 15, and then we'll jump to that 30-minute mark. Yeah, let's talk about some boundaries and how we end up choosing ourselves. So we're going to talk about the romantic, family, friends, and work way. Someone sent this to me on Instagram, and I love what this person had to say. And it's basically about the boundaries we don't set with those different relationships and choosing ourselves. So the first one is your romantic. And it basically said that a lot of times when it comes to us not choosing ourselves on the romantic side of the house, it's because we lower our standards to be chosen. So basically, to expand upon that, when it comes to picking out our romantic partners, a lot of times we will lower our standards just for the sake of being chosen. Like we normally date in our geographical area. So just think if you're at a school, at your work, wherever you normally spend most of your time, a lot of times we use that as our choices. So if the pickings are limited, you don't have a lot of people that you would really date in that, you normally try to, well, this person's not bad, right? You try to pick the best out of what's there. But they may not be your standard. So for me, for instance, let me just go with my standard. My standard is I would prefer somebody who works out. Not as much as I do, but they do like to work out. Just health is big to them. They have a good career. Just your standard. I mean, y'all know, but I just want to name the fitness part because that's out of the norm. I think most people want somebody who has stability, blah, blah, blah. So just out of that norm, I want somebody who works out, right? But let's say I was in a social setting, work or whatever, where a lot of people don't work out. Instead of me saying, I'll just stay single until I find what I'm looking for, a lot of times what people will do is they'll settle for what is around just to be chosen. So if somebody liked me, but they didn't really like to work out, a lot of times romantically, people will pick those below their standard just to be chosen. So do y'all watch Love Island? If you watch Love Island, even though it is a show and it's for $100,000, so I mean that off the rip is not even real, right? But we're gonna use it just for the sake of talking. Even with Love Island, a lot of them are picking people that are below their standard just to be chosen. Right? Nobody wants to lead. My kids like that show. I just started watching it not too long ago, but I have my own thoughts on it. I think at this point I'm only invested because of the certain people on the show, but I don't really care for the show as a whole because even though there have been people who've met they got their connections and they're still with them to this day, I feel like that's not going to happen often. I mean, this is season 7, and you don't really have that many couples that are still together. And a lot of people just do it for the promo. I've been on that side of the house. I know what people do for money. I know what people do for TV shows. AK, I was waiting on you so we could talk about your topic. So I'm gonna finish this one and then we're gonna go to your topic. Right now, I'm just talking about boundaries and what people need to do to choose themselves. And we're talking about like on the romantic side, family side, friends, and work. So I just hit the romantic side, and basically what I'm trying to explain is that when it comes to the romantic side, people will lower their standards to be chosen. And so what I want people to understand is choose yourself. If people around you do not meet your standard, then be okay with being single. Okay, and that's just on the romantic side. Be okay. Um, Stick to your standards. Now let's talk about family. They say the issue that people have when it comes to their boundaries and family is that we abandon our boundaries to keep the peace. So a lot of times when it comes to our family, when we have issues with somebody, a lot of times we just accept who they are, right? If you have somebody in your family who's mean or somebody who's always late or somebody who just always does stuff, you're like, oh, that's just who they are. Instead of trying to help them correct it, whether you have somebody who drinks a lot or just does something, instead of us trying to correct it, a lot of times we just like, I'm just trying to keep the peace. I don't want no issues. I'll just let them be who they are. So choose yourself, basically meaning if you have to, some people say they walk away from family, from friends, or family, excuse me. We're talking about only family right now. I used to be against that because I'm like, how could you not talk to your mom or your dad or your siblings? But now I understand that that is part of your boundaries. If you need to walk away from a family member to keep the peace, sometimes you have to do that. You know, sometimes just trying to be around your family just for the sake of it doesn't always work. So a lot of times people abandon their boundaries to keep the peace. But if you need to abandon your family, and what I mean by that is just give them space. I'm not saying don't talk to them forever and don't try to fix things. But for the sake of mental, sometimes you just need a little bit of space and then you come back stronger. Okay. And this is information that was sent to me that I thought was interesting. Okay. So what was next was friends. What was said is a lot of times people will shrink to avoid feeling like too much around their friends. Well, for one, I feel like that's not a real friend if you have to shrink yourself. I feel like that's just people you're trying to have. That's a social circle you're trying to have when it's not needed. Like I don't have a lot of friends. I have a very small circle, but I'm okay with that because these are people that I feel like I can be myself around. Um, and I don't feel like I'm too much. I actually I ended a friendship that I had for over 20 years because I felt like I had to shrink who I was with this person. So I did the opposite. I let them go. So don't be afraid to let friends go to avoid feeling like you're shrinking yourself. I'm going to move my walking pad at 3.5 miles per hour. Well, there goes that. Drop the remote, y'all. But we're at about 18 minutes. I'm coming up on a mile. So we're doing pretty good. So the last choose yourself is when it comes to work. What was stated is a lot of times we will ignore our purpose for a sense of safety. So what that means, to expand upon that, is when it, especially I get it if you have kids, especially when we have kids or we have a family that we need to support, a lot of times we will stay in a work situation that we really don't like, but financially is what we need, right? So if I'm working at a job that I really hate, I'm going to stay there, maybe for the health benefits, for the money it provides for my family. So a lot of times we will ignore our purpose for that reason. So a lot of times that is because of family, like our own family, like kids, our significant other. It's survival at that point. And it's easier said than done because I've talked to several people about this. Like a couple of years ago, I decided that I was tired of clocking in for somebody else and pouring into their business. So I decided I was going to do my own thing. And so originally I had to change my lifestyle, right? So because I'm not getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, my money will probably fluctuate. So I had to change kind of how I was living day to day. And some people are afraid to do that. Some people are like, I'm not willing to live a different lifestyle. The thing is, it's only temporary. Hey, pal, pal, what's going on? It's good to see you in the chat. Um, so we were talking about boundaries. So today I woke up not feeling good. I was feeling very inflamed. So yeah, I got this outfit today. I'm kind of all over the place with what I want to talk about today. We did hit some health and fitness tips today. Now we're talking about boundaries. So we talked about romantic, family, friends. Now we're talking about work and like just choosing yourself. Um, so as far as the work boundary and choosing yourself, the goal there is that eventually you're able to move into your purpose, and that can become your sense of safety, not a job that you're unhappy in. But like I said, I do understand that people who have kids, a lot of time for the sense of their safety and sense of security, we will stay in a job. For me, I was able to take a little more risk with my life. Like I said, I was okay with changing my lifestyle. That way my bills were lower and I could do what I want to. This is a good topic. Thank you, AK. It actually got sent to me yesterday, and I did think it was a good topic because I do think we tend to choose other people. I've done that for a very long time. Even I'll say my career. My career, going to the military wasn't necessarily for me. I didn't want to go to the military, but I was thinking about other people when I made a decision. Now, did that decision benefit me? Yes. So it's not like everything you do for other people is bad, but after a while, you got to make sure you're doing certain things for yourself. So when we talked about the romantic side of it, I just talked about making sure you're not lowering your standards. I have done that. I feel like so many years where I have lowered my standards of the type of people I'm dating. Whew, horrible. Do not recommend, 0 stars. Feeling like they have potential to be better. That is the worst thing you can do, is think they're going to have potential to be better. No. There are going to be a few outliers who do grow to be better, but never depend on somebody's potential and staying with them for that. I can tell y'all some stories of relationships I wish I would have never entered in. I knew from the jump what the red flags were, but I thought it would get better, and it never did. The romantic side is my weakest too. Is my weakness too, yeah. Well, I've set my boundaries now though. So that's why I say choose yourself. So what people normally do is lower their standards. What I choose to do now is stick to my standards. So the minute I find out somebody isn't any of the things that I want, I'm good. I don't care how nice you look. I don't care how much money you make. You're out of here. So that's one thing I had to change. Never date beneath you. You're worthy of more and peace of mind. Yes. Yes. And I was doing that for years. And what dating beneath means, before somebody acts like they're offended, is not saying that you're better than anybody, but depending on what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, if that person isn't there with you, you got to let them go. So like for me, I'm very ambitious. My goals are goals that when people hear them, they're probably like, really? Yes, really. I was born romantic. I would die romantic too. It's okay to be romantic. It's okay to because I'm a lover girl for sure. Like I love, all of that. So I was picking people in my past based off of, well, I bring all this to the table. They don't necessarily have to bring it. Now I'm like, nah, I need you to match what I'm bringing or more. Shoot, if you can. But I'm no longer lowering my standards. I also found it very hard to say no to someone I felt bad disappointing them. Yes. it's like once you start getting to know someone and then you don't like them, where I used to be, I would be like, oh, maybe we can make this work. Now I'm okay with walking away. I'm okay. You know, my mindset has changed so much. And it's because if you keep doing the same thing, what they say, you're going to keep getting the same results. It's insanity, right? You're expecting different results from doing the same thing. So I had to change something, right? And that was, I'm not lowering my standards no more. So the romantic one, that one definitely got easier for me. I think the family one was the hardest because it talks about abandoning our boundaries to keep the peace. And I do think I find a lot of people who do that. Because I am very family oriented. We normally want to keep our family close to our heart. But I feel like sometimes you do need to take space if your boundaries are being crossed. So I think that was always my hardest thing, is saying no to family. But I had to learn, especially because of my endometriosis. Once again, I explained to y'all, like, your cortisol levels, if your hormones, that can cause you to, affect your weight loss journey. That could affect how you sleep. For me, it affects my endometriosis. So I get full body inflammation, which is probably why I'm inflamed right now. I like to surprise a partner, for example. I love to give her a cake because that says, I think about you. Yeah, that's nice. Like, things like that are nice to do. Family hits different. Yeah. Because we have these expectations of what it is and what the standard is for family. And so it's very hard to tell your family no, or I had to change that too. And like I said, mine maybe for different reasons because of my cortisol levels. Like right now, I'm feeling very inflamed up in here. And that's because I let somebody get to me that I shouldn't have. Or because I set my expectations high for my family. And so when it doesn't go as it should, it causes disappointment, right? And then with friends, like I said, I've only had one friend that I felt like I had to shrink myself to avoid feeling like I was too much. Once I got rid of that friend, I don't have that problem anymore. So, and then I feel like friends are the easier one because our expectations for our friends, I mean, unless you've had this friend for a very long time, I feel like it's a lot easier to let go of friends, right? Maybe just for me. Because I was friends with this person since like middle school, and I was okay. Especially here in the eastern part of the world, it's very cultural. Yes, I get what you're saying. AK, where are you from? And the last one I talked about was work, and that's just what I talked to so many people about, where they wish they could be doing something different. But for one, is security, especially with inflation, just the way the economy is, we want to feel safe and secure. So like, want to become an entrepreneur right now would probably be very hard to do. Yep, LJ, I don't know if everybody does it. I'm pretty traditional kind of man who offers the dinner to a woman during a date. It's pretty old school, but I think it's very respectful too. I mean, they do say times are changing, pow, especially here. They say men want to get treated like the women nowadays. I ain't gonna talk about that too much because I want to get beat up, but from what I'm hearing, I feel like the men want the flowers. The men want to be taken out on dates. The men want to be picked up. But the last one was work. Like I was saying, I talk to a lot of people who are in jobs that they wish they'd be doing something else. Like they have a lot of passions elsewhere. But because that job is giving them stability, we're getting paid every 2 weeks. It provides their health care. And like I said, a lot of this is because they have kids. I think people who don't have kids are probably a lot easier to just do what you want to, because when you're only having to look out for yourself, it's a little different. But yeah, the whole point of that topic was choose yourself and be okay with it. Especially if you normally do for everybody else, it's okay to choose yourself. This is something I started walking into this year, was picking myself more, and I'm actually really enjoying it. Life is so much better. Okay, so AK, we're gonna go to your topic now because I'm interested in talking about your topic. So AK, put in the chat for me exactly what it was you said the other day when we were talking about the stretch marks. That way, when I address it, everybody knows what I'm referencing. So, Pow Pow, you said, yeah, times are changing, but I don't think everything is changing in the best way. There's more in the last time. Yeah, so much is changing. It's just interesting. Whew. Yeah, we can talk about this dating world for sure. Okay. AK, I'm from northeastern part of India, from the state. Ooh, now I'm gonna look that up. Okay, I'm gonna look that up to see what it looks like. Okay. So that's good to know. Learn something new every day. So if you're not learning something new, you're doing something wrong. So I learned something new from AK. I'm gonna look this up real quick. I like to look up when y'all tell me where y'all live. I like to see how beautiful it is. Let's see. MIZ. Oh yeah, it came right up. Okay. Okay. Now AK, put in the chat. Oh yeah, I looked it up. That's what I was just looking at when I got quiet. So yeah, I just Googled it. So now, AK, I want you to put in the chat what we talked about with the stretch mark. So everybody in the chat will know exactly what you asked me the other day. So then I can tell you my opinion on it. The stretch marks and the oil. Yeah, my arms are so sore from yesterday's workout. So if you haven't done it, I need y'all to look at my workout from yesterday. We worked triceps, so we worked on the back of the arm. We worked our delts, which are our shoulders. The shoulder, when you work your delts, that's what gives you that V cut. And then we also work our back. So we work our traps and lats. Especially, I noticed the new generation is more materialistic and selfish. I don't want to start, right? It'll come Malcolm X and so you're funny. That's why I said it's hard to talk about this new generation stuff and how things are being handled without people being ready to cancel you or so that's why I was like, I'm gonna tread lightly, but the dating world is interesting. Okay. So AK says, so I was avoiding my oil intake back in the day, and I felt some difference every time I was jogging. And then didn't you say by avoiding your oil intake, that's what caused stretch marks? I just want to make sure before I go in on my opinion and also what I looked up, that it's understood that that's what you were referencing. We should keep straight for our journey like you in this moment on that trip. You're funny, Papa. So later on, I got this stretch mark in between my legs where the rubbing happened. Um, that's called something else. Let me see. Um, Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I can type. So, okay, yeah, I do. Chafing. So normally marks on the legs, particularly on the inner thighs from legs rubbing together, are often caused by chafing. Chafing occurs when skin repeatedly rubs against skin or clothing, leading to irritation, inflammation, and potential darkening of the skin due to hyperpigmentation. So, yeah, that's what we consider to be called chafing. And that's when your legs can start rubbing together a lot. But as far as what aka rubbing, you're rubbing your legs. So Pow Pow, what she's basically saying is like when she would run or so what? Hold on. AK, you're a woman, right? Or what pronouns do you go by? I'm sorry. Let me make sure I ask pronouns before I assume anything. What pronouns do you go by, AK? But Pow Pow, what AK was saying is that because a lot of times when you run, sometimes like what's shape. So basically, what that is, it's kind of hard for y'all to see because I got on joggers, I got on bigger pants, but basically, it's like when your thighs rub together. So it's like when there's not enough. So like I don't know if you can still see me, but it's like when there's not enough space in between your legs, they're rubbed together, and so that constant friction of them rubbing together will cause it to. Okay, I'm gonna do it, LJ. Okay, thank you, AK. Okay, so when your legs rub together, it causes friction. That's all. So it just could depend on the size of your thighs. Men normally have bigger size thighs. Some, because a lot of men out here with chicken legs. But as far as the thigh, especially if you work out or lift, or depending on your size in general, they can rub together. So we call that chafing. So Chafing. Trying to refresh my screen real quick. Okay, but I know we talked about AK. I know we talked about stretch marks and avoiding oil. So basically, when you change, so okay, AK, do you mind sharing your size by chance? If you don't, it's okay. You don't have to. But when I say your size, like height and weight, I heard about a lot of people who rub their legs when they run or they're walking. I've never had that kind of experience. Okay, so yeah, AK, that makes sense then. If you have big thighs and big calves, that makes sense that it causes chafing. Depending on how I walk, sometimes I feel like my thighs can rub together too. Um, Walking or running, if you have thighs such as in costume, yeah. So yeah, just the inner thighs touching, and they just keep rubbing. Um, but that's what I think you were getting. I don't think you were getting stretch marks because I know we talked about the other day. You talked about stretch marks from avoiding oil, but that does not directly cause stretch marks. Stretch marks are caused by how do I explain it the best way? Stretch marks is basically caused by rapid growth. Okay, 5'9". So it sounds like you're what we consider stocky. Um, so stretch marks can come from like when women get pregnant and their bellies grow pretty fast. The stretching of the skin because it changes the collagen um, and the elastin fibers. So basically, when your skin starts to change at a rapid rate, it can cause stretch marks. So the dermis is your second layer of skin, and that tends to get torn. So that can happen during puberty. It can happen when you're weightlifting and you're growing pretty fast. Like I said, it can happen with women who get pregnant. Yeah, pow pow. Okay, yeah, we call it whew, should put my hair up, y'all. I didn't think I was gonna sweat like this. Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you're pretty athletic, AK. AK, Papa wants to know if you were a goalkeeper. AK sounds very athletic, works out a lot, so probably has a lot of muscle. And because being stockier in size, yeah. Okay, midfield. Papa, what you know about soccer? Or what football should I say? Well, Papa, you're from Italy, so I don't even know what y'all call it there. Here, football is our favorite sport. Okay, Papa. Soccer, got you. Whew. Papa, you just do it all, huh? Let's see where I'm at, y'all. So I'm a little over 41 and a half minutes. Let's see where we are at distance. 2.3. Remember, the goal is for me to hit minimum 3 miles today. All the guys here are crazy soccer lovers. Yeah, AJ, soccer is a national sport in Italy. I cheered and I used soccer when I was a teenager. I think soccer and wrestling are the two sports that I just can't get into. Um, I can watch professional soccer. Yes, I don't mind watching it professionally. I think I told you all I went to one professional game and actually enjoyed it. The fans, it was good culture surrounding. So I definitely wouldn't mind watching another soccer game. But yeah, it has to be people who actually know how to play. Like watching little ones play, that's just running and kicking the ball every which way. But professional setting, I don't mind watching that. I feel like soccer is starting to become pretty big here. I mean, of course, baseball and football, I think will always take the top, but I think soccer's coming up. So, what about hit y'all with? So yeah, I think AK, what you were referencing, and what I was referencing are two different things. If that's what you were talking about with the legs rubbing, yeah, that's two different things from the stretch marks. So I got you though. But normally, the only way oil is going to cause stretch marks here is if you eat so much fried foods that you're starting to gain weight a lot. So, 15. Okay, so that's when you started boxing. Uh, what's the number one sport there? Oh, I'm sorry, okay, I didn't see that. So, I feel like it's a toss up between baseball and football. Those are the my number one sport is track and field. put my hair up like this did not make it no better. It actually put it more on my neck. Yes, back in the day when I was young, fast and cute. I feel like all everybody does is want to play football, 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 football here. But I know baseball is a big deal as well. So I do want to hit y'all with my goals for July. So today is July 1st. So I got some new things I want to incorporate into my regimen. Remember I told y'all always want to keep y'all lifestyle a little spicy, change it up from time to time. I do like what I've been doing because consistency is good. So the fact that I have been keeping up with my arm workouts, walking every Tuesday, I've at least been consistent there. But I do want to change things up a little bit. I think the ratings on basketball have gone down there in the U.S. Is it true? Well, yes and no. I feel like women's sports are starting to increase, and that includes the WNBA. I feel like the ratings for the WNBA have changed a lot, but I do feel like the ratings for the NBA have gone down. But I do know that women's sports are starting to really get shown a lot of love here. We're now able to do flag football. So there's a lot of women's flag football going on. Like I said, the WNBA. So I even stopped watching the NBA. I used to always want to go to different basketball games. I've always been a WNBA fan. I think I went to one of my first games like in 2017, 18. So I was there before everybody started jumping on the bandwagon of watching WNBA games. But yeah, women's sports starting to change though. So matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about one of the WNBA games later on today that's happening. I remember when I was a boxer, I used to have workout for 2 hours at the boxing gym. Sometimes my friend asked me to have soccer games after my workout. I did it many times. Okay, so yeah, you used to really work out. That's pretty good. Um, but the things that I want to talk about for July, I am going to get my sister on here. I don't know if we're just gonna. I still got to figure out what format I want her on here. If it's her coming on and walking with me, or if it's us just sitting and talking. I got to figure out the format, or if it's her doing a full body workout with me. She does have a 9 to 5. She does work, so it's not as easy for her to just jump on with me. So I got to figure out the time frame that my twin sister can get on here because I think she can give y'all a lot of insight when it comes to bodybuilding. I'm more of a lifestyle. I do, I work out to kind of just keep myself going. I mean, fitness is my passion, but I do it for medical reasons and just lifestyle choices, right? What is your opinion on trans people joining the women's sports? Uh-oh, AK, you trying to get me canceled. Um, how do I say this? So I'm gonna keep it cute, but I will give my opinion. I do think that trans should have their own category. I used to play flag football, and we had a couple of trans players that I honestly didn't mind. I also didn't mind because the sport, when I played flag football, it was more like park and recreation. So I felt like, I mean, I ain't making no money from this. I don't care. But that was just my way of thinking. I know some people took that park and recreation stuff to a whole other level. Y'all, you would have thought we were getting paid to be out there. So to them, it mattered. But what I will say when it comes into like the Olympics or getting paid to do the sport, I do feel like it is an unfair advantage. A lot of people are like, no, it's not. Oh, okay. I think people study the anatomy. I think if people start to study the anatomy a little more, start paying attention to the hormones, you'll see there is a difference. Because that's a lot of things I used to hear. Some people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. Okay. Getting canceled. No. Um, but I just feel like there should be a separate category. Just like you have men in their own category, you have women in their own category. There's a reason for that, right? You put men and women in separate categories because our bodies are made differently. So I feel like a trans, their body's gonna be made differently, right? They're a mix of both at this moment. So put them in their own category. Just because you want to physically look different doesn't mean everything about you is going to change over 100%. So from somebody who is big in athletics, I think if it came down to me wanting to really go for something professionally and I got knocked out because of someone that's trans, and I know I love my trans now. I love the community. Uh, so, but yeah, I AK, I think trans can't join women's sports, but that female boxer is from Iran is not a trans. She just got muscular mannerisms. She has been discriminated, I think so. Yeah, pop out ain't fair. Yeah, I think I know what boxer you're talking about that everybody was talking about during the Olympics. Um, yeah. And there's some people like that in the track and field world where they have like there's women out there who look very masculine as far as like their body. So people tend to think that that's cheating or they must have crossed over. No, it's just genetics, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? Some people, our genetics are all different, so I don't know. Like I said, I think it just depends on the level of where we are. If it's, and that's just my own personal opinion. I don't care when it's something like Parks and Recreation, but if we're talking about making money from it, yeah, I think we got to tighten the reins on that a little bit. But yeah, I think that's what you were talking about. And the rumor mill is always, man, people are so good with rumors. So I think the rumor with that boxer was that the boxer was trans, and then everybody just ran with it. And then after a while, it came out that the boxer was not. The boxer was just had very masculine physique. Yeah, I mean that's how it was with Brittany Griner, who plays in the WNBA. I think she's like what 6'7", and so a lot of people didn't feel like it was like, man, people will talk, and that says another thing, y'all. People are gonna talk regardless. People are gonna talk regardless, especially if you're good, and that's what people have to remember. When you're good at what you do, people are gonna have something to say. So that's why I say I'm not hating on nobody. I want everybody to be happy in their own skin. People are gonna talk regardless. So, but just know people are only talking about those who are good. That's the only reason why people are talking. If that boxer was not good, people wouldn't have had nothing to say about what she looked like, right? It wouldn't matter. But because she was talented, oh, she has to be a man, right? She has to have some type of an advantage to be that good. So if somebody's talking, they used to talk about Serena Williams. So once again, after a while, you gotta let people talk. Is a female boxer too, but she hits like Mike Tyson. Her genetics is like the challenge should accept it and try to fight. See, the reason why they don't talk about Shields though is because she does have more of a feminine physique. She hits really good. She hits very fast. She is one of the top female boxers, but because her physique is given more feminine, people don't have nothing to say. But if the way she hits right now, the way she boxes now, if she had more of a masculine physique, people would have way more to say about her. So, I mean, they talk about her regardless. Once again, people are going to talk regardless if you're good. That's why I'm like, you just can't let that get to you. I take it as a compliment. I say people are talking, I'm giving them reason to talk, right? I used to be very sensitive and getting my feelings when people had something to say, but I've learned that people are gonna talk because you're good enough to be in their mouths, right? You're good enough to make conversation about, and that's okay. When my sister comes on, she'll be able to talk to y'all more about bodybuilding and supplements, and you all will be able to see the difference in how we look. She's about 20 pounds heavier than me, but a lot of that's muscle. So we look forward to talking about that this month and just showing people the difference between bodybuilders, a lifestyler, supplements taken. I know a lot of you have asked me questions about different supplements, so we can go more into that. I am looking at adding Saturday morning workouts, and it'll more so just show an outdoor workout of me doing like either body weight type stuff, and just y'all really seeing how I work out. Not when it's in the home and I'm on a time, time restricted. I feel like when I do my workouts like on Monday and Friday, I try to keep it very like regimented. But I want y'all to see more of my life, what a workout would look like just on a regular Saturday, no pressure, no time constraint. Well, to be honest, I don't think she's just so feminine. I follow her career since she was 16. She was more rude in her manner too. Now she tries to be more feminine with makeup and so on. Well, I wasn't really talking about like she does have a mouth. I watched her movie that she had that came out. She is very blunt in how she speaks, but what I meant as far as feminine is her body. Her body does not give man to me. She still has she has soft areas on her still. So it gives her body more of a feminine look. But what I'm saying is if she was leaner, more muscular, and because she already hits with some power, I think people will have more to say, is what I'm getting at. But yeah, right. She has changed her demeanor now where she does wear more makeup. But I like her. I don't feel like a woman should be put in a box on how she's supposed to act. Like, I mean, I know there's certain etiquette and blah, 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 but don't put us in a box. So I love it. I love her confidence. Yes, she's more out in the media now. So I do think she does try to focus more on her aesthetics of how she looks. So that's just what comes with growth. She's growing overall as a boxer. Her name's getting more out there. So, I mean, that's with most celebrities. Once they start getting in the limelight a little more, their appearance does start to change a little bit. So, yeah, my goals for July, my sister will be on here doing Saturday workouts. And then also I'm gonna start doing stretch with me. I'm trying to figure out, I originally said I was gonna do a cook with me, but I don't think I'm quite ready to start cooking. If I was, it would probably take juicing. I'll probably stop juicing and add cooking to Sunday. But because of my hip and just being older in age now, I do think it's important for people to understand that they need to stretch and just stay grounded and relax. So I think that's something else I want to start adding outside of my Saturday workouts is where I go outside and we just stretch. Remember I told you all the older you get, you want to make sure you keep that flexibility, your mobility. And so we just want to keep making sure we're moving those joints. Cause yeah, we getting old, y'all. Yeah, fame hits different for sure. Yeah, she got a feminine side with masculine shoulders. However, I feel her box, to be honest, I don't like her manner now. She was more humble when she was not famous. Yeah, and I think also she just feels like she's not getting the recognition that she deserves. You got to think a lot of female sports, especially the ones that are seen more masculine, like basketball and boxing for females, it wasn't getting the attention that they are now. So you got to think, if you've been putting in all the work that she's been putting in, just imagine boxing just now becoming famous now for me. So just think if Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, all of them didn't really get the recognition that they deserve because boxing is just now becoming famous for me, right? I feel like that's how it kind of is for her. I feel like now female boxing is getting a little more attention. I think Layla Ali brought a little bit attention to the female side, but I feel like now the female side of boxing is getting attention that it deserves a little more. So I kind of get why she's the way she is, but that's just what makes her who she is, right? So, like I said, I'm to the point to where I just love people for who they are. If that's how she wants to present herself, I have no qualms about it, no issues. Um, she did it, respect, but I was in here. Got you. I got you, Papa. I mean, you know the boxing game more than me for sure. She used to compare herself to Muhammad Ali, but Ali was a great person outside the boxing ring too. He went to free hostages during war in Iraq. So I'm saying Ali was, yeah. I mean, people compare themselves. It's just how you see yourself. That was the confidence that she felt. So I'm here for it. But I get what you're saying. You're definitely more in the boxing world than me. I can talk more track and field than I can boxing. uh, but I did watch her movie. So I learned a little more about her and how she grew up. And so I feel like she always kind of had to have that fire growing up because when she got into boxing when she was younger, it was considered a male dominant sport. So she was being told that she shouldn't be boxing. Yeah. The only thing I think about anytime I think about any physical sport is just wanting to get pregnant. That's all I ever think about. Not wanting to get hurt for that purpose. Getting punched too hard. But yeah, boxing, I think most sports are dangerous in general. Boxing, football, anything where you can get too many hits to the head, I just think it's crazy. Mike Tyson is the best. Okay. I don't think I really have a favorite boxer. I think I kind of like them all. I kind of like them for who they were at the time that they were in the limelight. He is the GOAT. Okay. AK has spoken. Mike Tyson. Y'all had kept me very encouraged through this walk. My goal was to only do, well, my goal is to do minimum of 3 miles. We're going to see where I'm at. Okay, I've already hit my hour at least. And I'm at 3.5 miles. Okay. The fun fact is I love all the boxers I've never seen during the golden era. Holy Joe Frazier, Big George, Foreman. Holyfield, did you name him? Yeah, boxing was never something I really enjoyed watching before, but I just feel like all them hits to the head, man, it's just crazy. I'll watch movies about it, but and I have watched a couple of the recent boxing matches, like when Mike Tyson fought. I watched that one. So, but y'all expect a few new things from me in the month of July. I'm trying to keep things, spicy, keep it interesting, share some different things. Maybe Sundays I can do a hint of juicing with a touch of cooking because the type of cooking I do, especially when I'm meal prepping, it doesn't take long. So maybe I can incorporate the two together to show y'all what my food looks like for the week. So I can get an idea of that. Of course, I just started talking about my leg journey, so y'all will see that. Um, every Thursday, I'm posting my workouts from doing my legs. So yeah, I got a couple of good things. You don't really like Holyfield? Oh no. Okay. Well, you have your preference, and that's okay. One thing I did want to talk to y'all, since we already talking about women's sports. Hey LJ, who is that lady sprinter from the US? So we have a lot. She pretty fast. So we got Sha'Carri Richardson. Let me see. Woo. So I think if you're talking about from the US, we got Sha'Carri. But it depends on what event you're talking about. I'm sweating all down my arm. But yeah, she's one of my favorite. But we got a lot of fast women. But Sha'Carri's probably who you're talking about. I think Muhammad Ali was the GOAT. He beat Fraser for me. Yeah, I agree, Papa. I think that's why everybody knows his name so well. Yeah, track and field is something I can talk to y'all all day about. That is truly my passion. So if y'all want to know who's what and what, the 100 meters, the 400, the hurdles, long jump, I got you. But because we've been talking about female sports, I did want to mention that tonight we got Indiana Fever going against Minnesota tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Indiana record right now is 8-8, and Minnesota is 14-2. So it looks like Minnesota should be the one that takes it, but you never know. Could be an upset. That's coming on Amazon today. Yeah, Sha'Carri. That's only my own. Was a great boxer, but I don't love his boxing style so much. Oh, okay. See, I don't know about their boxing styles and all that like you do, Pow Pow. But yeah, I knew who you were talking about. Yeah, Sha'Carri is the one. Yeah. I saw her. I went to the Olympic trials and saw her run in person. But she definitely got that speed. But her teammate, TT Terry, she's starting to do some amazing things. So there's a track meet coming up, I want to say this weekend, and that's going to be some speed right there. So that's where we're going to see who's the fastest as of right now. Julian Alfred is who won the 100 at the Olympics. So I think they're getting ready to race each other this weekend. I want to say it's this weekend. So y'all had some good conversation today. Like, this is amazing. I didn't think I was going to be able to do 3 miles so easy. I thought I was going to struggle, but you all kept me talking. I kept it interesting. I'm probably going to end up hitting 4 miles, or excuse me, 4.5 miles. I'm going to go ahead and slow it down. That way, get my heart rate back down. I had to go get my remote, y'all. I had dropped it. If Tyson had a discipline like the other boxers, no one will beat him, period. He lacks discipline. That's why. Yeah, I feel like Tyson's always been an amazing boxer. I just feel like Tyson's career got overshadowed with the whole ear biting, because I feel like that's all anybody talks about when they talk about Mike Tyson. I don't really feel like people talk about how powerful of a hitter he is anymore. I feel like if you were to talk about him to younger generations, that's all they would know is the ear biting. I remember when I had been in New York, people used to watch baseball. I don't understand anything about baseball. I don't know the rules to play it. Yeah, that's why I say baseball is one of our top sports here. Baseball and football. Um, Baseball is just too long for me. Like, those innings can go all day. I need something with a countdown. I need quarters. um, you are amazing, LJ. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate it. Y'all are amazing because when I tell you the fact that I was able to get on here and walk for 70 minutes and it doesn't even feel like 70 minutes. If anything, the only thing that's giving it away is my lower back pain going into my hip. So I'm probably, when I get off of here, I'm probably gonna go stretch. Um, yeah, I just feel very, very tight. Yep, Tyson was a great too. I used to fight with his style, peekaboo style. See, now, Papa, you gonna have me want to look up like all these different styles of how people box. I always just thought it was keep your hands up and juke and jive. I'll definitely take care of myself. So tomorrow I am going to work out, but I won't be live. Y'all know I'm doing my leg journey. I told y'all my legs are my weakest area because my core and my arms are so defined or like already kind of lean. It's always easier to work those out because I'm able to see the results already, right? Whenever I do bicep curls, I can already see the muscle moving. But it's like when it comes to my thighs, that's where most of my fat goes. It's like my problem area. And because I already have a weak hip, when I squat, I just tend to feel a lot of resistance here. It almost feels like if you've ever laid on a remote, that's how it feels all the time. Like I'm laying on a remote. So I kind of stopped working out my lower body, but now I want to feel a little more confident. That's why I don't wear shorts. But I want to feel more confident, especially with it being summer. I want to be able to put on a bikini and feel confident in my legs. So I'm working on toning them up. So at one point, I was supposed to be posting a leg day workout every Thursday, but I kind of lacked off on that. But now I'm motivated to making sure I deliver to you all a lower body workout every Thursday. So that would be the next thing I post. No problem. I'll be supporting you during your next live stream. AK said I don't understand baseball. Just don't injure yourself. Boxing very technical. Me too. The fat loves to go there. Papa, you're funny. So yeah, even though I love it on the backside, I love having a little fat there on the glutes, but I just want to be I want my legs to be a little toned. It's okay to have a little jiggle, to still keep that feminine energy, that feminine look. So I don't mind a little shaky shake, but I just think I want a little more tone to my thighs. So I just want to have that confidence. I mean, even though I feel like I still get complimented all the time, but it's mentally how you feel, right? So I am going to post more information on my leg journey. I did take a video about a week ago to kind of show where I'm starting. And then at the end of July, my goal is to show you all the difference I was able to make in about 4 to 5 weeks. And I'm going to show how I was able to do it. So I am going to continue to track the journey outside the videos that I post every Thursday. So that will be my next video. Don't forget, somebody loves parts who you hate. Oh, trust me, I know. And I think that's like the hard part is when somebody else loves the parts that you hate, it almost makes you get comfortable. And I think that's why it's taking me so long to work on my legs, is because I do know that my arms are leaner, my stomach is leaner. So I want to keep a little bit that feminine, feel, is what I'm trying to say. Hello, just found this channel. I sub, looking for more Black women in fitness. Hey, well, you came to the right channel. That's what I do. Every Monday is arms and back. Tuesday, low impact cardio. We walk and talk about health and fitness. Thursday, I post a lower body workout. Friday will be full body. Either it'll be resistance or cardio. And then Sunday, we juice. But I'm making some changes to July. So I'm probably going to start working out on Saturday. Saturday is going to be a casual workout, like where I just set my camera up while I'm outside and y'all can just see kind of what I'm doing. This was very good. Thank you. And I think that's what the hard part is we're so hard on ourselves. Um, we are our hardest critique, right? So our hardest critic, should I say. Um, so yeah, what you all see, I definitely don't see all the time. Uh, don't burn too, and that's what me and my sister always talk about. Because, like I told you, my twin, she's into bodybuilding and she knows this lifestyle very well. And that's one thing she tells me is I don't eat enough for what I'm trying to accomplish because I am trying to tone my legs. So right now, my goal is to do low weight but high reps. That way, I'm not injuring myself, but I'm making sure I'm eating. Happy to be here. We'll be checking out your workout. Super excited. Thank you, Vanna. I'm so happy. I always love when I get a new person to join the channel. I've already been walking now for 75 minutes, so I'm kind of on the tail end of this workout. But we talked about a good amount of health and fitness today. We talked about some sports. Um, don't be so serious with yourself. You are. Thank you, Pow Pow. Yeah, I'm just hard on myself. I think when you've been into fitness as long as I have, you're always looking to change something. Um, so I think I'm just, what's up, D Nice? What's going on? So I think that's the only thing about me is because I've been in fitness so long. After a while, you just want to see what else you can do. Um, my stomach was the first thing I wanted to change. I wanted those abs. So then you accomplish that. It's like, what else do I want to accomplish? So because my thighs so I'm not really trying to change necessarily how I look totally. I just want to tone up a little bit. So I just want to build my glutes a little more, what they call it. I want that bunk bed. I'm just trying to build my glutes up. You still gotta keep something soft back there, But then I also want to tone my thighs. Um, just so you just want to, what they say. The whole point is to look good naked. Oh, I guess that's what I need too. My arms are nice, but I want strong buff legs, and they are not as well as my arms. I think I need heavier weights for my leg growth. I only had 10s. Oh yeah. So yeah, you definitely need heavier weights than 10s. But if that's all you have, well, if you're trying to build, then yes, you're definitely gonna need heavier weights. You definitely want to lift a lot heavier when it comes to your legs. Women, when it comes to our lower body, because we have like the way our bodies are made, we're normally a little thicker, especially for we got the childbearing hips and just from having estrogen, the hormones. So normally our lower body is a little thicker. So when it comes to trying to build your thighs, like if you're trying to like grow them, that's going to be nutrition, getting healthy fats, protein, and carbs, and then also lifting heavier. But if you're trying to just tone, like for me, I like the size of my thighs. I think they have good size. Like, they match the glutes now. So I got good size, but I just think I want to tone them up. So for me, I'm doing my weight is smaller, but I'm doing high reps. So like when I do leg extensions, I'm doing anywhere between 50 to 100 reps. So I like to meet more girls like you and Illy too, LJ. So don't worry, because you look so great. Well, thank you, Pal Pal. You always sweet with the compliments. You have me thinking I'm perfect. Yeah, Pal Pal's right. Don't go too hard on yourself. You're already there to envy. All right. I hope she can. You're right. And that's why I say I think a lot of people, especially they say a lot of people in the fitness world deal with body dysmorphia. And I think that's just most people in the fitness world because you see so many people who are into fitness and we always tend to compare ourselves to each other. I mean, I am happy with how I look overall, but I like to challenge myself. And so I think there's just a good challenge for me. See how disciplined I can be with working my legs. But it's all good things, y'all. I'm trying to build my glutes and tone my thighs. So it's all good things, nothing bad. I'm not trying to lose any weight. Um, yeah, I definitely still want to keep the feminine look, but I don't want to say you are perfect because you could think I'm smooth talking. Papa, you always smooth talking me. You are always a smooth talker. Oh, I'm at 4.21 miles. I'm telling you, that's when I know I've had a good talk when it comes to y'all because I said 3 to 4 miles and I'm already above the 4 mile mark. So the things we kind of hit today was about being consistent, not perfect. What's up, Jude? Mix up your workouts with strength training, cardio, mobility, and make sure you get your rest in. Get outside daily, and that's just to get your vitamin D. That way, that can increase your mood and your energy. Remember, most people try to say get 30 minutes, but especially if you're a beginner, let's just focus on 10 to 15, and then we can increase to 30. Let's start slow. I talked about my goals for July. Some things I'm going to add to my regimen is to keep things going. We talked about boundaries. Ju, you're funny. That's not true. I say things I really think, so I'm not smooth talking. We did talk about boundaries and choosing yourself. So when it comes to romantic, family, friends, and work, so we talked about that. And then we talked about WNBA game. So if you're wondering what I'm doing tonight at 8, I'll be watching that game. And then I'm serious. Don't burn too much, Lise. Song for your fan. I'm going to keep it cute. I'm going to keep it cute. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to lose anything. I'm trying to add, y'all. I'm trying to. Okay, so do y'all know that muscle is what sits your glutes up, right? So when women work out, that's what makes the glutes sit up. So that's a good thing. You don't want, so how do I say? I'm trying to keep it cute, what I'm about to say. If a woman was to not work out, that her backside will start to sag a little bit and it won't have that look you're really going for. So when y'all think it's that fat that's keeping it looking like that, no, it's the muscle. But thank you, Teresa, for joining today. I'm about to hop off myself. I appreciate you, AK, for bringing the good energy and vibes. Pow Pow, Teresa. Who else did I miss on here who really talked to me? Dana, thank you for joining today. But y'all gave really good conversation today. But I want you to know if you want changes in your body, it's all about building the muscle. Your body's naturally going to have some fat there already. Dana, I think I did name you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, I love junk food, so I'm not gonna change too much. But when y'all see my results at the end of July, we'll talk about it from there, and we'll see. I think you guys are gonna like what I'm about to add, the additions I'm trying to change. But I appreciate you all. I'm actually about to go get something to eat now. Well, make myself something to eat, and then I'm gonna do my leg exercises for today. So my leg curls, my leg extensions. All right, Dana, Teresa, Pow Pow, AK, Jude. Thank you all. I will see you all. My next live will be Friday. I'll be posting a workout video Thursday, but my next live is Friday. So I'll see you guys here Friday. Have a good Tuesday. Be safe, be kind, be nice. All right, y'all. See you Friday.